Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. Plans have changed and we have things to do. Let's get to work. So welcome back to American Beef Ranch. Today we are getting ready for harvest, but not the harvest we intended. We're gonna have to chop our corn. It's not, we don't have enough heat to make grain. It's not gonna quite make it. We're in about the perfect time to chop it. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna chop it because it's today's Thursday, the 16th of October. It's supposed to freeze on Monday, and anything after that is not very good for silage. So tomorrow at about lunch, we would expect people to start showing up to get ready to chop, and they're gonna get started chopping tomorrow. So what we have to do today, first we need to go check on the cows and make sure their water is doing good. The second thing we've gotta do is we gotta prep the silage pit where they're gonna put the silage. The third thing we gotta do is we gotta get all of the pivots in the right spot so that it makes it easiest on the harvesting company. And then also we have to fix one pivot tower. I'm not sure why it's not working, but it's not working. And finally, at some point, we will have to adjust the fence so that we can access the fields, but the cows can't get out. So we've gotta do all these things today. And tomorrow morning, so that's what I'm working on. And I also want to take you guys out. We're going to take a look at the corn here relatively soon, and I just want to show you kind of what the silage is looking like, or what the corn is looking like. So let's get down here and check cows, and then we will get on with the rest of it. All right, so we are getting close here. I'm not necessarily checking on the cows as more their water source. So we've been using some water down here that's been coming out of the canal, and now that the irrigation water is turned off for the year, there's no more water flowing down the canal. Well, you could see how that could cause a problem as there's no more water. So we got to make sure the cows have water down here. They are hanging out down here in this lower spot. The desert's getting green and pretty. Oh, hey, look, there's our favorite cow right there, and another one. But I'm just going to drive down here and make sure they still have water, which they have plenty of. Well, maybe not. Oh boy, they have water, but this was full on Monday morning. It's Thursday. You can see the water has really gone down. They still do have quite a puddle out there. Looks like quite a bit of water still, and so I'm happy to see that much water there. I mean, it goes away fast here in the desert, but what that shows me is that we should be good to get through harvest the next 2.5 or 3 days without me having to move the cows and supplement their water. That was my concern. Okay, we are in the cornfield now. Right off the bat, you can see our end rows are not the best. Definitely we have some improvement to do on how we manage the end rows to get them to be the best that they can be. But the corn itself in the rows is pretty awesome. So let's run in here and check it out. So here we are in the corn. And so this is what a lot of the corn is looking like. Closed in, looks pretty good. And I want to show you this, and this is pretty important. So remember, we are a certified organic farm, and we did all of our own fertilizer this year. We are missing a plant here. But we used soluble calcium, available phosphorus, sugar, molasses, a biological, and liquid fish. And we used that twice, once in furrow at planting and once while we cultivated. We only cultivated one time. So I have to say, in our corn that looks like this, the good stuff, which is the majority of it, I am super happy with how this looks. The rows are really clean, like there's not many weeds, and they're definitely not pulling. We also still have our lower leaves. We've lost our lowest one, but this one we still have life, and we've got life all the way up these plants. I am 5'10", and you know, the ears are up here at my head about 6 feet, and then we got another 4 foot of plant on top of that. So the plants look good, and overall the plants look pretty healthy. There's not a lot of crazy disease going on. Something I am seeing though is a little bit of this. You see right there where the corn kernels have been eaten into like that. So that is a western corn rootworm, I think is what it's called, but it's not the larva, it's the actual beetle. And so that is a thing that comes with corn. got to rotate crops to keep those safe. You can also do some biologicals and things like that. So you are seeing a little bit of that, but the roots are good. We are obviously missing a plant right here. You can see because we are missing a plant right here, we got a double-eared guy here that's quite large. We got another one right here. I mean, these plants are healthy. They're standing up good. And this is what the majority of our corn looks like. So I'm super excited about that. And if we, you know, pull back the ears here, you can see that we are, we've got just a small amount of tip back on this one, but generally I'm not seeing any tip back, which is these last few kernels filled, but we're just getting like 30 and 40% dent. We're just not quite far enough along to risk it. But this corn looks good. It looks healthy. I'm super happy with the fertilizer program. I do need to watch those corn rootworms, but other than that, I mean, a simple fertility program, liquid only, and I mean this is pretty impressive. Like, I can't be mad about it, especially for the amount of money that it costs. So it's super exciting. It's a program that we can stay on. One thing I do want to improve on, corn spacing. We, you know, sometimes we're close together, sometimes we, you know, don't have one, and that's something we can improve on. A lot of little things, but corn looks good, looks healthy. You can see the tops got burnt by frost. It's another thing. We're gonna have a killing frost here in a couple of days, so it's just best to go ahead and chop it and be done. But let's go get the pivots moved so these chopper guys can do their job. And I'm just super happy with this corn. So I went ahead and stole a semi-average corn plant. I want to kind of do my own yield analysis on this to see what I can do to kind of estimate the yield, see how close we get, excuse me. And also kind of grabbing it as a teaching moment for my wife. There's, you know, she's asking questions and it's easier to explain when you have something. So we are going to drive right up here and get a pivot moving. And then we're gonna drive right back down here and get another pivot moving that is not working, but I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong with it. And we'll get it fixed up and get it working just right. All right, so we've got this pivot moving. We're gonna move it so it's pretty much straight in line with the rows, heading north and south. That way the chopper, because they like to run up and down the rows, they'll run right along the pivot, and then we can move the pivot out of the way and they can get the rest of it. And that's basically what I have to do with the whole farm. The one pivot over here on the lease farm is good, so we don't have to worry about that. Our big pivot, we need to move to the east a little bit because we want to start chopping on that side of it. We'll move it this way a little bit, and then they will kick it back that way. And then we've got to go fix our other little half pivot. We do have to move the pivot across the road too. This other half pivot, this is the tower I worked on just a couple weeks ago, and I think I know what the problem is. Well, we are back with the pivot, the last pivot, I think the last pivot that I worked on. Now, what I think has happened is because I switched from the old original, oh look, got a little bit of corn beetle, but look, that tip's filled out. We grew some good corn this year. But anyway, what I think happened with this one is I switched to the new style center drive, or this guy, new style center drive. Now these new style center drives are thermally protected. That means they're internally protected from heat and overload. The old ones were not. That means there's an overload switch in the box above me. And that overload switch could be causing this not to run. So let's crawl up here and find out. Well, I thought this was gonna be easy. It's not. So the overload actually bolts right to the back of this contactor, and there was not an overload there. So that wasn't right for the other one, which could have caused it to go bad, but it was really old anyways. But problem being is, I don't know why it's not running. Hopefully that center drive I installed did not go bad already. Why? So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to guess I'm going to go try to start it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think about it and figure it out. Oh my goodness. I really feel like a Nimrod now. I didn't turn the power on to this pivot. I gotta go turn the power on first, and we'll be right back. Power is on, and I actually moved the pivot back and realigned it, and now I'm sending the pivot the other way, the way it's supposed to go. So hopefully I can figure out why it's not working. First things first, multimeter. Okay, our voltage coming into the block is good. Now let's check and see if we have an open circuit in the motor windings. We're good there. Good there. Good there. I found the problem. Let me show you. I don't know whose fault this is. I probably forgot to tighten it. But there's supposed to be a bolt in there. Well, that's an easy fix. Let me go grab a bolt. We can turn this pivot back on and move on to the next job. Well, I don't know why it's moving, but it is. But anyway, I definitely feel like, you know, there's a Canadian guy in the background going, "Way to go, bud," or something like that to me. But there we go. We are fixelated. Now let this pivot move and go on to the next thing. Well, it's nice to know the kill switch doesn't work on this tower. Literally, that kill switch, that one right there, that guy, supposed to kill it, but it didn't, so it probably won't get fixed. But now we have, what do we got to do now? Oh boy, we have to go get this pivot moving down here, and we've got to get the big pivot out there moving as well. So I got to walk out to that one. I probably got to walk out to that one with how wet it is today, so hoofing it. I needed to show you some of our not as good corn. So this field has two problems. The dry strips originally, which we got fixed with Erica Butterworth Irrigation and the Comet KPT sprinklers, that fixed the dry strip problem. But we still had bad dirt in this field, and there's spots where the dirt's a little bit better. Like the pivot would pass like in a circular fashion this way. This spot right here, the dirt's definitely not as good. There's a really good spot right there. It's kind of unfortunate. So we do have spots like this in this field, but you can see I'm surrounded by tall corn, so there is good corn in here, and there's a lot of potential. The most exciting part about this field is that we yet have seen the full potential of this field, because we have been fighting those sprinklers for, what's this year, 25 years. So we got those sprinklers fixed halfway through the season this year. So like next year's the full first year of like having the sprinklers properly done. Like, and so it's really exciting for the possibilities, because like the dry strips were evident, and it was really evident where the dirt was poor. Still as a little bit evident where the dirt was a little bit better, but either way, we are still seeing a little bit of corn rootworm beetle getting in there and causing some damage. So these fields that have been corn on corn, we're going to have to make a decision how we manage it. It should, you know, it would probably be smart to rotate into a small grain crop and, you know, do that for a year. You know, maybe you take a smaller field like this field and you try some other management practices, corn on corn 3 years in a row, but do you integrate a cover crop, another different biological? There's a lot of different things in the industry that, you know, could be possible. And it, like I said, it'll be exciting because we'll be able to see the full potential of what this field's capable of next year. And it's only going to get better from there. So that's a good thing. Like I said, Comet Precision Twister sprinklers. You guys should go watch that video. These sprinklers are really impressive. We got peaks on this first tower, and then we got sprinklers on drops, which we're going to tune those in, maybe put new drops on. But we do have to get this pivot moving. As stated, let's come over here. This one does have GPS on it, but it's not working from my phone. I'm going to go ahead, get it started, and I'm going to turn the percentage up so that it moves faster. And then the nice thing about our system is we have a disconnect on the outside of the field, so when I get it in the place I want it, I can just hit the disconnect. They can do their chopping where they need to chop, and then once they get it where they want it, we can move it out of the way, which it doesn't. This one probably could stop dead straight because it don't really matter, because they can get around the end of this one on this end. some of the other pivots that come right up to the fence. You can't get around them. So down to the next one, walking out to the big pivot down our path. I have been taking note as I walk through the fields and look around and seeing we have like I said, some western corn rootworm pressure. We have the little beetles, but that means the larvae will be laid in the soil and will be there next year. I think the home farm is going to have to be rotated out just to be safe, just so we don't have any problems. We are going to have to plant a small grain in the home farm, the 185 acres that is corn on the home farm, into small grain, most likely feed barley. We could plant some wheat too. We'll just see. So probably plan on seeing that next year, some grain drill action, which I was hoping we could possibly get a grain drill anyway, because to do some cover crops before corn. I will still be able to do cover crop before corn on the lease farm, and possibly some new acres on the home farm that are out of production right now. So there's that. We also have spots like this low kind of strip right here, and that is from not getting our ground prep done 100%. We were obviously pushed for time, and so we had to hurry up, and I was not able to get the ground worked exactly how I needed to get ahead of the weeds. We do see morning glory. That's kind of a weed I'm seeing. It's a little bit calcium deficiency, so hopefully that's something maybe we can work on this fall. Maybe we could topically apply work the ground and topically apply some calcium. That would be awesome, but you know, you got to do what you can do when you can do it. So let's get down here and get this pivot turned on and go stop the other ones because they're about done. The old Zimmatic pivot is moving. Do we get it straight in line with this guy? Hopefully we can get it broken down into some smaller pivots and it replaced with a different pivot. Doesn't have to be a new one, could be a partially used one like the one on my mom's place. But like I said, I am excited. Pivot moving is going swimmingly. As you see, we've got pivot number 2 right where it needs to go. Looks like pivot number 3 and is right where I'm gonna stop it. It's fine. And then pivot number 4 is actually ahead of where it needs to be. So I gotta go hurry up, get up there, turn it around, head it back the other way. But I'm gonna do it a couple different ways. This pivot behind me, we can stop in the middle. It's a circle. This pivot, because of the way that it is, that makes sense, doesn't it? I'm just basically moving it out far enough so they can chop along the fence here. And then we'll move this pivot back up against the fence and the pivot stop right here. So they'll chop right along here, and we'll just bring that pivot back over this way. We'll do that just because in this field it makes the most sense, because that pivot stretches out over the top of the fence and then you can't drive around the end of it, and it's a pain in the butt for the guys working. And if you can get around both ends, they can hurry up and get this chopped and I can move it over, and then they can still drive around the end of it and work on the other end. So get up here, get this pivot stopped, and then we gotta go get the other one headed in the right direction. I just actually ran into my crop adjuster. He came out and took a look at the corn because they still adjust they still check the corn to make sure that if there was a loss based on our crop insurance that it's covered. But we I think we're good. He said the corn looks pretty good. He's pretty impressed with how the organic corn looks. So I went and checked the big pivot. It's where I want it to be. So I just went ahead and killed the power for it today because I don't need it to run all night. And so the only other thing we've got to do with pivots is just wait for that pivot on the top of the hill to get back, and it's almost there. Yeah, it's almost there, it looks like. So I'll run back out there, wait just a minute on that one. We can kill that pivot, and then we can jump in the backhoe and start getting, we got a little bit of groundwork to do. I need to smooth out the road. I need to get some stuff moved off the pit, like just some little things like that I need to get done. I really hope we get this culvert fixed this winter, because obviously, yeah, it's a problem. I got stuck. I am stuck. So I'm gonna walk home. I'm gonna go get the backhoe. We'll get ourselves pulled out, and we will hopefully get that pivot stopped before it goes too far the other way. All right, in neutral, backhoe's hooked up. Let's pull ourselves out. Good thing this is a work pickup, because I hit that post slightly. But that pivot's still not done, so that's okay. We can do some stuff with the backhoe. Yeah, I'm just gonna park this right here. it doesn't even bother me one bit. So here's what I'm thinking. I am thinking, to make this work the best for everybody, that what we're doing is we're gonna pit the silage over here in this spot over here. And I don't know where they're gonna wanna put the scale. They're gonna wanna make the scale easy to drive onto and stuff like that. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this tractor forward a little bit, and maybe I'll probably bring some of that dirt from there over to here and fill this in so that you could drive through here like this, put the scale there. You can drive in, they can drive in, but also you can put the scale far enough back this way that you can flip a U-ey and go back down this road, because you got to go to cross over into the fields over here. You've got to go down and go across, or you got to come out to the road. So I'm gonna move some dirt around, try to figure out what's best, and yeah. And then we will have to put the forks on. We'll come get the rest of our soft rock phos and our liquid fish that we have, and do something with that. And, you know, push some stuff out of the way, pull that stuff out of the way, just move stuff around. So I'm thinking I want to fill this in to make it easier. And first things first, I'm gonna try to push the 2+2 out of the way. The old girl started my farming career. Hopefully, man, I really hope we can, I know where the parts are. I can get all the parts to fix it, but I'm hoping we can fix it. If you guys want to see me fix the International 2+ Blue, you need to subscribe, you need to like, and you need to follow, because it's gonna take, definitely gonna take some money. And we are rolling her out of the way. I'm just gonna push her forward out of the way, because I'm probably gonna have to end up pulling it back, because I need to level this out too to make it easier. I'm trying to make my farm as user-friendly as possible. Our farm is user-friendly as possible. There we go, the old 2+2. God, I love that tractor. It's so much fun to run that tractor. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for anybody else. They all look at it like it's ugly, because it is an ugly number. I think I can pull this disc out. I can pull it back. Let's pull it back for a minute. That worked out swimmingly. I got the disc out of the way, and if we need to, we can even pull right here between this spot. I will have to fill in the ditch a little bit, and the reason there's ditches around here is because this actually right here that you see used to be a county road. So back in the day when there was 80s and 40s and all these parcels were split up out here, this used to be the county road, so we got ditches on both sides of it. So I'll probably have to fill this in a little bit. The trucks can get through here and they can pull right on the scale or pull off the scale. We're just trying to give them options. We all like options. So let's go move some dirt. I've been working for a little bit, so what I went ahead and, that's gross. I don't have my knife. We're gonna leave that alone. Anyway, what I did is, it's gonna be hard to see, but there is a ditch here. I think you can see it right there. I went ahead and just filled it in and made this a pretty good transition. I could do a little bit better in there, but a pretty good transition so that if we decide we need to use this over here for the scale or whatever, they can easily get into here. Or, you know, it looks like there's a lot of room here between this pit and pad over here and all this ground, but when you start getting silage stacked up and a scale and packing tractors and trucks and trailers all in this area, it's going to be very congested. It's going to be very full of stuff. So the last thing I'm going to do tonight before the sun goes down is I'm grabbing our extra fertilizer. So this is some soft rock phos we have, and we have 1 tote of liquid fish fertilizer, liquid fish hydrolysate. I'm going to grab those and get them up to the house where the rest of the fertilizer stuff is, get that put away and get it set up so that we can store it for winter, because the soft rock phos and some other dry fertilizers that are micronized will be covered with a tarp. This guy I'm just going to get out of the way, honestly, and let it sit here. Oh man, hopefully. Yeah, maybe open that up and let it breathe a little bit. But let's get these put up where they go. Ooh, some native crested wheat. Is that some crested wheat? Is it some barley? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. Cows will eat that and get stuck in their throat though. But ramp built. Keep on moving. All right, so we got the pivot tire, the liquid fish hydrolysate, the soft rock phos, and the fence unroller out of the way here, out of this corner. I probably should push this fence junk back. I went ahead and parked the backhoe here because we cannot cross over here because of obviously the culvert that I keep getting stuck in. So if all this fails and like something, let's say something catastrophic happens and the backhoe doesn't start or something stupid like that tomorrow, it is still out of the way. So before I call it quits, well, before I call it quits for the farm work for the day, I am going to walk out here because there is a block of wood and there's 2 pieces of square tube out here that I'm going to go ahead and pick up and put in my trash bucket over here so that they're already there, and tomorrow I can grab it up and it's out of the way. Really, the pad looks pretty good. They're probably gonna have to scrape it back a little bit, and they'll most likely, the packing tractors, the big tractor with the big blade that pack the silage, they'll push that dirt off to the edge. We kind of want to keep it around because we're gonna have to build a ramp in here to load out the silage. So I'm not exactly sure. We need to keep that dirt. It's either got to go up to that corner or in the back corner, and I would imagine, I don't know, it'd be better if it was in the front corner. We'll see what goes on tomorrow. So trash bucket, I thought I lost it, but it's actually been here the whole time. And got our trashy trash, the steel blocks I used to try to unhook the cultivator. I think I got that on video. You definitely should go watch me cultivating, putting on liquid fertilizer. But whew, it's getting cold. Summer is definitely gone and fall is here. And although we're not getting to harvest this corn as grain, we are going to get some good silage out of it. Trash bucket I'll grab tomorrow because we do have to hook this disc up. We just got a little bit of work to do to the disc. We have a couple of broken blades that we need to fix, and this gang is getting loose on us. I don't know if that's because of the broken blade or we're getting some wear on the spacers. That gang I do believe needs to come off and get repaired. Some blades and some parts. We'll have to source those this winter. This one also has a couple broken blade, one broken blade, and thought there was 2 on there. That one needs a little bit of work too. I think it's gone loose on us. We'll have to tighten that one up. These gangs on the outside look good, but I do believe in the back we have, yes, a broken blade there, and that may be it. So we do have a little work to do on the disc later this year. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Kraus something 36-foot rock flex disc. Pretty good disc for the money we spent on it. Oh, and the end discs, both of those are broken. We probably should get those. And we probably should see if we can find a roller crumbler for the back. You know, that would help just make one less pass if we had a crumbler to go ahead and go behind it. But anyway, looking good. And oh yeah, that cylinder is either gonna have to be rebuilt or replaced, because you see it's leaking like crazy. The leak saga on this thing. And yeah, probably all new tires. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, because let's see, what did we replace? We replaced, let's see, we replaced that outside tire. Did we replace this outside tire? Yes, we replaced this outside tire here, I think. Maybe not. No, that looks used. So no, I think it's both on this other side. Maybe not. We replaced this tire for sure, obviously. And then I do think we replaced one of these other tires on here somewhere. Anyway, that one's replaced. That one on the outside's replaced. I think both of those are new over there. No, both of those are not. Both of those are new. We need to get a couple of new ones for this one, but I think it's just gonna be worth it to just go ahead and be done with it and replace all of them. The other thing we need to do to this bag girl is this. So this gang has to be completely removed from the frame so that you can get this bolt in, the U-bolt in. I have the U-bolt. We got one in there, but we didn't get the other one, so probably should fix that. It would be a good thing. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that rant, but is this loose? Oh, I'm gonna pull this off to the side. And what the heck? Oh man, always something, all the junks. But that's all I have for today. Hope you guys had a wonderful day. God bless you. Come back tomorrow, because we've got to finish prepping for silage, and they're gonna start chopping. So that means we gotta get fence ready, and we got the pivots out of the way, but we gotta get fence ready, and I'm sure there'll be other stuff that comes up in the morning that needs to be taken care of. See you next time.